There we are. You gonna turn the music off? Welcome back to Wook Plus. This is a microdose about PHiSH. Imagine that. And they did not get in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, T. Oh man, let's see.
Are you shocked? Are you surprised though? Really?
I mean, it was an unexpected nomination, so I guess the omission can't be unexpected. But what happened? Who got in? Who did get in? Because I'm a little surprised at some of this.
Yeah, let's take a look at who got in. We can bring that up real quick here. Here is who made the cut and is going into the Hall of Fame. You got Bad Company, you got Chubby Checker, which I'm a little surprised at. You got Joe Cocker, you got Cyndi Lauper, you got Outkast, you got Soundgarden, and you got the White Stripes.
Mm-hmm. The White Stripes are what surprises me the most because I think they got in as much on what Jack Black has done solo, like we talked about a Slash, as they did for what the White Stripes did in and of themselves.
I completely agree. Like, that's a really shocking one to me, just because even when we debate like the longevity, the influence, I mean, I don't see that yet in in giving them that much relevance to it. You know, I mean, like, I don't know.
Right.
I mean,
so let's go back through the process. In February 2025, February this year, PHiSH received their nomination for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. We were all excited. Social media blowing up. Fan vote. We got to get in there. You know, do the fan vote. And then what did the fan vote ended up being? We crushed it, right? We spammed the fan vote. I mean,
we ended up, yes and no, right? I mean, when Dave Matthews did the fan vote, he got over $1 million.
Yes. He was seven figures.
And he didn't get in. So that's a little bit more egregious right there than to be complaining about this. I mean, we only got 329,281. I mean, PHiSH got 329,281, which is still impressive because the second place was Bad Company, who did get in with 280,725. And then below them was Billy Idol, who didn't get in, right, at 260,000. And then below him was Cyndi Lauper, who did get in with quite a drastic drop of 30,000. Like, she's at 236.
Well, let me ask you this. One of the knocks against PHiSH was they're not widely known outside of their own community. But this feels like they got a lot of votes. I mean, do you really think it was just PHiSH fans who pushed it that high, or do you think other people saw it, knew the name, and voted for them when they did full ballots? A lot of PHiSH people went in and just voted PHiSH every day. They didn't vote for Cyndi Lauper or anybody else.
Right. So I think it's a lot of one way and a little bit of another. I think it's a lot of PHiSH fans spamming the vote and voting a lot for it. And I think there's a little bit of overplay of other people who go in and voted for them as well. But yeah, I think it was a lot of, which again, even that still speaks to their fandom and what that is and what influence they have over that sphere of influence with those people. I mean, which is more than any other performer that got in, any other band on here. I think the only thing that really rivals it in rock and roll would be like the Kiss Army or something, right? Where like you have sort of that, and those people are
Beyonce, Swifties, and more pop culture.
Right. Outside of once you get into pop, but pop is a little bit different. Like pop gets that, like Michael Jackson and those kind of things. Rock and like this is a different, animal where you don't really find that fandom cult like status type thing. So I don't know. I would think that would help their case too. It's a little surprising just because also like, their hot dog is in the Hall of Fame. They're already in there. So there's already a piece of them in there. So it's like, why wouldn't it help their cause of just bringing them in? On the flip side, I totally get it. I totally get why
I feel like though that this fan vote, what you mentioned about Dave Matthews, highlights a disconnect between public opinion and these 1,000 people who actually make the decision,
Of course, but that's in everything, right? Like that's all.
We need to find a voter. We need to get a voter on and interview a voter. Find someone who's willing to say that yes, they're a Rock Hall voter. And
I think they need to level it out. I mean, the fact that the fan vote counts for one vote total for that artist.
Rock and roll is the fans.
What?
Rock and roll is the fans.
Right. So I think there needs to be a more doesn't have to be even. It doesn't have to be split, but there needs to be more influence from the fans in at least weighing one of those bands or the weight of it coming in. Because what's interesting too, when you look at that, the list of the final results, I mean, again, it's fan vote, so it doesn't really, but 4, 5, 6, and 7 all got in. Cyndi Lauper, Joe
Right.
Cocker, Soundgarden, and Chubby Checker. And there's a big, like, Chubby Checker was at 203,000. After that, you get into the Black Crowes at 165.
Right.
I mean, the White Stripes and Outkast both had, White Stripes had 110,000 votes, Outkast 108.
Right.
And
Outcast is weird, but I think the White Stripes strikes me as the weirdest.
weirdest, man, Mana only had 34,000 votes, and that speaks to at least their fans were voting, but no one else knew who they were, right? So, I mean,
now
but
across
little,
the
I don't know.
across
Go
the
ahead.
social media landscape, Phish fans are not happy. They're calling into question the legitimacy of the process and the institution itself, and raising concerns about inclusivity, bringing in bands that are outside of the normal pop sphere. What have you been seeing?
Just, the usual complaining. I don't know. I think I get it. Of course you're going to be upset because it's funny because it's like you want to be legitimized, but then you also don't want to be legitimized, right? Like, isn't it? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure they were bummed they didn't get in because I think it's not like they're not going to. I mean, there's no way they're not going to. So I think it's just a matter of time, which also brings up then why not now? But again, who knows? Politics, whatever. It's
What
just
do
not
you
their
think?
time.
Another two who got overlooked, Mariah Carey and Oasis. A little bit surprising. I could see Mariah Carey getting the snub, but Oasis, I felt like, they represent a genre and artistic achievements within that genre.
And
What we were talking about? What we were talking about last night is a jam band. Is jam band a genre in and of itself? Is there a genre called jam band? Because maybe that's the problem. It isn't a genre. What do you call Phish? Progressive rock, jazz, funk, fusion,
I mean, that is true because they're not a true rock band. You don't hear them on rock stations.
Right. When they
You'd have
got
to
a
hear
Grammy
them.
nod, it was for best instrumental album,
Right. And what you would hear them on are like more almost like contemporary type stations, like I'm trying to think of like when I lived in because out here there's no chance, but when I lived in
radio.
Colorado,
College radio played free a lot back
right,
in the
right. I mean, yeah, you could get like college radio to a point, or like I get, like local radios, like Boulder Radio, and like for Collins Radio, I would play them, but I don't. Yeah, it's hard because you're right. There isn't a. What did Dave Matthews get? What did they call Dave Matthews when he got in?
I don't know. Indie rock, indie
Probably.
groove,
Something like that. I mean, I don't know. He got in, so it's not like Phish isn't going to get in. I mean, it's just,
right. Well,
it
and
would have been
what?
nice. Go ahead.
You bring up Dave Matthews, and like Dave Matthews, this is the beginning of Phish's journey to the Rock Hall. I think it'll take them another time getting snubbed and a third time they're getting in, but their influence will continue to grow. Their fan support, that's never going to wave. But, maybe it highlights the need for them to get their name out there more. And maybe this last year's media push is the beginning of a wider concerted effort to get known within the industry circles.
Well, yeah,
so they're the people who are going to vote.
I think that's a really good. I think if this is just the start of kind of not oversaturating themselves and doing it too much, but like being a little bit more in the media and a little bit more inclined to doing those kind of things and a little bit more, standing out, doing their things like, maybe it's the Sphere Halloween next year. Maybe it's, like little things that always put them on keeping those things up. And then, I don't know. I think it would have been nice to get in and have done that on the first, been that band that breaks that through that way, like how Dave broke through to get in.
Right
now, Phish doing it on the first ballot would have been nice to do, but I also kind of understand why it didn't happen. And I mean,
there it is.
it's so what it is.
Right. let's continue this conversation. If you're watching this later, down in the comments, let us know what you think. We're going to do a fuller Rock Hall recap to go along with our series we did about whether each nominee belonged or not. Make sure
Really,
that
we can really complain about some stuff.
Yes. Make sure if it's your first time here, like, subscribe. Think about becoming a member. Tomorrow morning, 9 a.m., there's a members only Wook Plus mornings. And on Wednesday night, we have New York Times bestselling author Benji Eisen and Fishnet, Mr. Fishnet, Scott Marks joining us for a spring tour recap. So make sure you tune in for that. And
boys, that
you got anything else there, T?
No, I think that's it. That's going to be a fun recap show, though. We'll talk a little tape Benji too, because he was at the Thursday Night Zero show with me.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. We'll see you soon.
Let us know what you think about PHiSH getting snubbed.